Hello one and all, my name is Ryan Bruce, my friends call me Fluff, and today on Riffs, Beards, and Gear, we check out a couple of guitars from Harley Benton. So one of the brands I have never had on the channel before is the Harley Benton brand. Now, if you are not familiar, Harley Benton are a budget-minded guitar company making very good quality guitars for not a lot of money. This is advantageous for a few different reasons. With a brand like Harley Benton, you aren't paying for a name, but also what interests me the most is, the guitars are not a lot of money, and ergo, you can afford to experiment and play with upgrades and, things like pickups, additional tuners and pick guards and colorways, and really kind of develop your taste while not breaking the bank. I like that aspect of the entire Harley Benton brand. So in this video, I am going to check out 3 different Harley Benton guitars for the first time. I've never played Harley Benton anything, and I'm stoked to check these things out. And before we go any further, this video is sponsored by Reverb. Reverb.com has a massive selection of Harley Benton guitars, not just because they're the largest online marketplace for used music gear, but because Harley Benton actually runs their own Reverb shop, so you can buy directly from the brand. I will link down below in the description. All thoughts and opinions are still mine. So let's get to the guitars. I'm going to show you these guitars in order of price, starting with the lowest to highest, okay? So we are going to start with this Harley Benton ST62cc, which comes in at $195, which is crazy. I love this finish. This is an Inca silver finish. This is your standard 25.5 inch scale, 3 single coil pickups, 5-way selector switch, a volume, tone, and tone control, vintage style tuners. This thing weighs about 7.5 pounds tops. It's very light, very, very comfortable. Next up is the Multiscale 7 BBB. Now this thing clocks in at $349, but what you get for that $349 is a multi-scale 7-string with a, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-piece neck. You get a sculpted heel, you get a basswood body, you get a rosewood fingerboard, and this thing is ready to riff. And last but certainly not least, we have the Fusion 3 HSH roasted natural finish shred machine, also a chug machine, but we'll get there in just a second. This is a humbucker single coil humbucker configuration with a maple veneer top and 25.5 inch scale, sculpted heel. This is a very cool guitar. I also particularly am fond of the Wilkinson 2-point tremolo, which is very stable. And while I was tracking the demo tune that you're about to hear in a second, it was very, very stable. I was very impressed with this guitar. This guitar clocks in at $399. That's a lot of guitar for a little bit of money. Let's hear all of these guitars in a full mix. Now that we've got the full mix out of the way, let's check out all 3 of these guitars in a casual playthrough situation. I will be plugging into my Fractal Axe FX 3 as I usually do, and I'm just going to go through each one of these and just play through them, pick up positions, play some chords, some dad chords, you know how we do. Let's get to the playthrough. So what do I think? Honestly, pretty cool. My favorite out of all of them is probably this HSH Fusion 3. This Fusion 3 is a fantastic guitar. Now my surprise out of the bunch was this ST62cc. The pickups were not as vintage as I was expecting, which was a welcome surprise. Now they're still pretty low output, but they had some bark to them under gain situations, and I really enjoyed the tones that I got out of this guitar in particular. Now, as far as the multi-scale 7-string goes, I am not typically comfortable with, 7 strings or multi-scale guitars for that matter. However, I found this guitar to be fairly comfortable, especially for someone coming from a regular 6-string DAG guitar kind of setup. I was out of my element with this guitar, yet it still felt pretty comfy. I also appreciate that the neck isn't crazy thin. However, I would call it a very thin C shape. The bridge is super cool. And honestly, this thing's ready to chug. I mean, I don't know, this is just a turnkey riff machine, and I appreciate that's $350. Pretty nuts. I will link down below in the description if you'd like to know more information about these and all Harley Benton guitars over on reverb.com, the sponsor of this video. And with that, you've been wonderful, I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.